Isla was a bright-eyed girl who lived in a small cottage by the ever-whispering sea. Every morning she would run to the shore, her toes tickled by the cool waves, and listen to the symphony of the ocean. She believed the waves held secrets, speaking a language of their own. One day, as she sat on a rock, she heard something extraordinary. A melody so beautiful it made her heart flutter. It was as if the ocean itself was singing to her. The melody seemed to call her name, guiding her closer to the water's edge. With curiosity twinkling in her eyes, Isla took a deep breath and dove into the azure depths. She swam deeper and deeper, the melody growing clearer with each stroke. Suddenly, she discovered a hidden underwater kingdom, a place teeming with colorful corals, curious fish, and shimmering lights. Isla's always interrupted by a gentle voice. "Welcome, Isla." She turned to see a mermaid with a crown made of pearls. "I am Princess Marina," the mermaid said, her voice soft but sorrowful. "I need your help. I have lost my voice, and without it, our kingdom's magic is fading." Isla's heart went out to the princess. She knew the pain of losing something precious. The melody that had led her here was Princess Marina's voice, crying out for help. Determined to assist, Isla asked, "How can I help you find your voice?" Princess Marina smiled warmly. "You must find the echo shell hidden deep within the coral maze. But be wary, for only a pure heart can hear its song." Isla swam through the colorful labyrinth, guided by a faint hum, as if the echo shell was calling to her. She faced tricky turns and shimmering illusions, but her heart remained steadfast and pure. Finally, she found the echo shell, a glowing conch that pulsed with the lost melody. Holding it carefully, she returned to Princess Marina. As Isla handed her the shell, it glowed brightly, and a beautiful song filled the kingdom. Princess Marina's voice was restored, and with it, the magic of the underwater world sparkled anew. "Thank you, Isla," Marina said, her voice now a harmonious blend of gratitude and joy. "You have not only found my voice but have also become a part of our kingdom's story." Isla returned to the shore, her heart brimming with the song of the ocean and a new friendship. From that day on, she never listened to the waves the same way. They were no longer just whispers, they were melodies of magic and adventure, waiting for curious hearts to hear.
Once in the sleepy town of Blandford, there lived a friendly monster named Gus. Gus was no ordinary monster. He had bright blue fur, a pair of tiny wings, and adored everything about Halloween. From pumpkins to spooky stories, Gus loved it all. But there was one problem: no one in Blandford celebrated Halloween. In Blandford, people thought Halloween was too scary. No costumes, no jack-o'-lanterns, and definitely no trick-or-treating. But Gus knew Halloween wasn't about being scary, it was about having fun with friends, dressing up, and eating lots of candy. One crisp October morning, Gus decided to change things. He put on his favorite wizard costume, gathered his courage, and went door to door, inviting everyone to Blandford's very first Halloween party. Most people were unsure, but Gus's excitement was contagious. He spoke of pumpkin carving, delicious treats, and fun games. Slowly but surely, the townspeople warmed up to the idea. The big night arrived, and Gus decorated the old town square. Orange and purple lights twinkled, pumpkins with silly faces lined the pathways, and tables were filled with candy apples and spider cupcakes. Gus's heart pounded with excitement as he saw families start to arrive. Kids dressed as pirates, fairies, ghosts, and superheroes ran around in joy. Parents shared stories while sipping hot apple cider, and everyone marveled at the creativity of the costumes. Gus even organized a pumpkin carving contest, and the laughter echoed through Blandford like never before. More than just the decorations or games, it was Gus's spirit that transformed the night. He showed everyone in Blandford that Halloween didn't have to be scary but could be a delightful celebration of imagination and togetherness. As the night drew to a close, the townspeople thanked Gus for bringing such joy to Blandford. Little by little, Halloween became a cherished tradition. Every year, Gus's Halloween party grew bigger and brighter, and Blandford buzzed with excitement every October. Gus, the friendly monster, had found a way to share his love for Halloween, creating happy memories for everyone. And so, in the little town of Blandford, Halloween became the most magical night of the year, all thanks to the monster who loved Halloween.
Once upon a time in a land made entirely of candy and sweets, there lived a gingerbread man named Jingy. Every house was made from gingerbread, candy canes lined the streets, and jelly beans dotted the landscape like colorful flowers. Jingy was no ordinary cookie. He was brave and full of curiosity, always looking for new adventures. One morning, as the sugary sun rose over Gumdrop Hill, Jingy decided it was the perfect day for an adventure. He packed a tiny cookie bag with candy corn and set off. First, Jingy trotted down Licorice Lane to visit his best friend, Twizzler Twist. Twizzler was a red licorice rope who loved to dance. "Good morning, Twizzler," Jingy called out. Twizzler sprang up and twisted happily. "Good morning, Jingy. Where are you headed today?" "I'm off to explore the candy forest," Jingy replied excitedly. Twizzler twirled around and said, "That sounds delightful. Be careful of the chocolate swamp. It's very sticky this time of year." With a wave, Jingy continued his journey. He bounced across Marshmallow Meadow, where the soft marshmallow ground made his steps feel lighter. Suddenly, he heard a rumble. A huge gumdrop appeared, rolling towards him. Jingy stepped aside just in time and saw it was his friend, Gumdrop Greg. "Hello, Jingy," Greg shouted. "Watch out for the candy castle. The jelly bean giants are having a party, and things are getting a little wild." Greg winked and rolled away. Jingy chuckled and made his way to Candy Forest. The trees were made of candy canes with leaves of cotton candy. He could hear the sweet sounds of caramel crackling in the candy falls.
In a lush green jungle, there lived a big silly crocodile named Cuddles. Everyone in the jungle found it funny, because usually crocodiles were known to be grumpy and scary, but not Cuddles. He loved to play games, tell jokes, and swim in the river while making funny faces. One sunny morning, a new animal moved into the jungle. His name was Tito the toucan. Tito was colorful, talkative, and very curious. Why is this crocodile so silly? Tito wondered. He decided to spy on Cuddles to figure it out. Tito followed Cuddles to the river, hiding behind trees and bushes. Cuddles was splashing around, blowing bubbles in the water. Tito giggled. Then, suddenly, Cuddles disappeared under the water. Tito gasped and flew around in circles, squawking, "Oh no!" Suddenly, Cuddles popped up with a leaf hat and a big grin. "Gotcha," he said, making Tito burst into laughter. Tito realized Cuddles was just being himself, a happy, friendly crocodile. As days passed, Tito and Cuddles became best friends. They played games, explored the jungle, and even put on shows for the other animals. Cuddles would pretend to be a scary crocodile, and then Tito would land on his nose, making everyone laugh. One day, a mean old snake named Slither decided to play a trick on Cuddles. Slither slithered up to the river and said, "Cuddles, I bet you can't catch the biggest fish in the river." Cuddles, being the good-natured croc he was, accepted the challenge. He splashed and swam around, trying to catch the biggest fish. But the fish were too quick. Tito saw his friend struggling and came up with an idea. "Cuddles, let's work together," he said. "You scare the fish in my direction, and I'll catch them with my beak." Together, they made a great team. Cuddles scared the fish with his big splash, and Tito caught the biggest fish with his sharp beak. They brought the fish to Slither, who was hiding under a log, looking grumpy. "Looks like we did it," said Cuddles, smiling his big grin. "You sure did," said Slither, slinking away. From that day on, no one doubted that the big, silly crocodile and his best friend, Tito the toucan, made the best team in the jungle. And so, they continued to have fun, share joy, and teach everyone that being different and silly is what makes life delightful.